Right. Hello YouTube. This feels really weird. This is my first video in quite a long time, but weirder than that, it's my first video like this in ages. I've put up some stuff lately, some like jokey covers like Old Town Road, music video, stuff like that, but I don't feel like I've sat down and spoken to a camera for my YouTube channel anyway for absolutely ages. And I really wanted to film this video because I don't know how many of you follow me on Twitter, but I did actually tweet that I was going to film this video. And as you've seen in the title, it's called Who Am I? And the reason why I think that is a really important question for me to answer is because whilst I don't have 1 million subscribers, I don't have 100,000 subscribers, I don't even have 30,000 subscribers, but there are 24,500 people currently, dropping, but right now there are 24,500 people currently subscribed to this YouTube channel. And some of you have subscribed in the last week, and some of you have subscribed 6-7 years ago. And I think that there will be lots of different versions of me in your guys' heads. You know, some of you will maybe know me really quite well, maybe you subscribed to me years ago, maybe you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Maybe you keep up with my life. And some of you, on the other hand, might not know anything about me. You might have just seen a video of me from maybe even 5 or 6 years ago and decided to subscribe. Thank you, no matter which version of that you are. And some of you watching this right now probably aren't even subscribed to me at all, because I recently found out that 92% or something like that of my views from the last month were from non-subscribers, which is crazy. So subscribe if you are new around here. But what I wanted to do this video for anyway was to kind of fill in the blanks, because you know, seven years ago, when I was probably admittedly at the kind of peak of creating content online, my peak, not the peak, my peak, I shared quite a lot. And I didn't share all of it on this YouTube channel, but a lot of you who were subscribed to me here also follow me on other social medias where I perhaps shared a bit more. Twitter and Instagram mainly, where I kind of would do like a story and you kind of see a bit more about my day, or you might see me talk about things other than singing in the kitchen. But I wanted to kind of strip it right back and kind of go from start to, not finish, I hope, but where we are now, and fill in the blanks and just kind of let you guys get to know me a bit better, because I want to make more YouTube content. And some of that will be very similar to what I used to do, but I don't feel like I can just go back to doing what I used to do, because I think I need to explain more about who I am and kind of let you guys get to know me again, because that was one of the big reasons why I first even started doing this. And let's just start there. You know, this is going to be completely uncut, by the way. I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to try and keep it quite brief. I imagine it's going to be quite long, but I'll try not to waffle. I'll try and keep everything quite interesting, I guess. If you, I'll let you be the judge of that. So let's start from the beginning. 9 years ago, I first filmed something, and I don't even think I put what I first filmed on YouTube. This channel wasn't made 9 years ago. This channel was made more like 7 or 8 years ago. But yeah, I started to film things. I started to film myself singing in my bedroom in a sepia camera effect. For those of you who don't know, it's like brown and white. It is the worst camera effect ever. Decided to use it. But I think that's really important, actually. That's quite a good point, because the reason why I first ever made YouTube videos, or the two reasons anyway, the first and the most important one was just to share things. I wanted to share the fact that I was covering these songs. I wanted to share my music as well, because I just started writing my own songs. I wanted somewhere where I could share that. The other thing, which is like, so that's a really positive reason, I feel. The other thing, which seemed like a positive at first but quickly became a negative, was to benchmark myself against myself. So I could do a cover, I could watch it back, and then like a year later when I'd done some more covers, I could look at those and think, oh, these ones are so much better, or actually these ones aren't quite as good. Why is that? I could have a look and kind of make a decision as to how I could improve. So that all kind of happened, and as some of you guys again will know, things did take off a little bit, which is really cool, and I got to do some really cool stuff, work with some brands and go and tour and film videos for like TV and other big YouTube channels. It was awesome. I made loads of friends in the process too. But over kind of the course of those few years of things going really well, the second reason why I made things, to benchmark myself against myself, kind of took over. And I was no longer making videos to share. I was making videos because the buzz and the thrill of getting views and getting likes and comments and engagement had taken over, which is a massive problem in kind of kids today. And I felt like I still had it then, and a lot of YouTubers did and do. And you start to get a bit too wrapped up in this like gratification. This, if it doesn't get enough views, then I'm disappointed. And I had it on a much smaller scale because it wasn't my livelihood, so I was lucky in one way. But also it still did get to me, and I started putting way too much effort into my videos. And this is such a weird thing to say because, a lot of people say, oh, you should make videos and you should really be proud of them and you should put so much effort into them and, that's how you're going to make it. But I never started this to make it. I started this to share my singing and to share my songs and share my covers and, to share bits of my life. And I didn't realize until not too long ago actually that I was doing well because of that, and because it was so natural and so raw. And I would film, and if I got something wrong, it would just be left in there and it would just carry on being uploaded. And you guys don't see it, but a lot of my covers over the past few years could be like literally like take 25, and it'd be to the point where I'd had the lights on me and I had to turn them off and open the windows because I was like sweating because I was boiling from the lights being on me for like 2 hours whilst I tried this one song. This is all going to sound so stupid, by the way, because this is such a first world problem. I want to make it clear that I'm not like talking about this as like a problem. This is just something that that's been on my mind, and I'm going to share it. So let's move on to kind of where that led me. So I went and worked a couple of different jobs for a while. As some of you guys again might know, I worked at KFC, and I was doing that to fund studio time, and then I got a full-time job in car insurance, and then I moved into marketing and working in social media marketing and running accounts. And one of the things that I soon realised when I was doing this was that I was never going to be Joe Sugg or Zoella or Jake Paul. Terrible example. You know what I'm getting at. I was never going to be a massive YouTuber. Obviously I was never going to be Jake Paul because I was never going to be American or hired and fired by Disney. But I was never going to be that level. But what I did really feel like I understood was how like brands can work with YouTubers and how you can grow on YouTube. It sounds stupid saying, I know how you can grow on YouTube, but I couldn't grow on YouTube. But the reason was me, and my personality. I'm not an entertainer. I'm a musician, but I'm not, I wouldn't see myself as like a TV presenter or a comedian or something like that. Someone who could really explode on YouTube. But I felt like I knew all like the boring businessy bits. So to me, they weren't boring. So alongside the partners of the agency I was working at, I launched an influencer marketing agency. And that was about 1.5 years ago now, and that is doing really, really well. We work with like massive UK brands to small startups to government organisations. Like, it's really, really cool. I'm loving running that, building a team with that as well, having employees, which is crazy. But that's where I am now at 23. So now I'm going to try and fill in those blanks and try and address some questions that I have been asked and some questions that I haven't been asked, but maybe because some of you guys were too polite. Because there's still things that I share, and like I said, if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you still see a few things. And the main two things that you're going to see are my girlfriend, my lovely girlfriend Annalise, because I love sharing what we get up to and her and things like that makes me really happy, and travel because the same reason. You know, it makes me really happy, and it's really easy to capture, and yeah, I just like taking pictures of those two things. So those two things end up on my social media still. And the weird kind of thing, the catch-22 almost that I've got going on, is that I never felt like I could share my business. Even though my business is me and a massive part of my life, I never felt like I could share it, but also it stopped me having enough time to properly do music, which was what I was mainly sharing. So let's say I had like 80% music, 10% Annie, 10% travel. And then that kind of shifted, and my life became, you know, still really equally balanced between Annie, travel and business. But that kind of overtook music, and because I didn't feel like I could replace 80% music with 80% business, Annie and travel just kind of grew naturally in terms of what I would share, but I wouldn't share the business, and the business was taking away my music time, so I had no music to share. And it just kind of put me in this weird position where I felt like I was kind of stuck, because I knew that I didn't have the time to be Harry the musician anymore, but I also didn't feel like it would be interesting enough to be Harry the business person. And then it kind of, you know, this sounds so stupid to say I struggled with that, because, you know, it doesn't really matter. And when I realised that, which wasn't very long ago, and I realised, well, why do I share travel? Why do I share me and my girlfriend? It's because that's me. That's my life. That's what I like doing. And that is why anyone should share anything. And that is why 8 or 9 years ago I started sharing things on YouTube. And if I back then knew my motivation for sharing things just a couple of years ago, I think I'd be terrified. I'd be disappointed in myself for like letting that get warped so much, and only now a small portion of things I actually want to share being shared. So where does that leave us? Well, I still don't have an incredible amount of time for music, but that is changing. However, another thing happened that kind of stopped me from fully being able to share my music in the way that I wanted to, and I probably should have addressed this earlier on in the video so that kind of the maximum amount of people are watching, because I think this is the question that a lot of people will wonder. Why did I stop doing so many covers? So when I lived in the house where I started doing covers, I started originally in my bedroom. The acoustics were terrible. I'm no Justin Bieber, you know, I don't have some like incredible natural gift for singing. So I quite like to rely on quite good room acoustics. In here, like, there's like this lovely little subtle echo. I actually recorded Missing Piece in here, the guitars and the vocals, because of it, in this very room, which is in the office that I work in too. And I've soon found out that the kitchen in that house had like lovely acoustics. It sounded so nice. Anyway, reasons I don't need to go into, out of that house, and I'm living with my mum in another house, but that was a bit of a project house for my mum. She had a lot of work to be done to it. And the kitchen, it looks absolutely wonderful now. Well done, Mum, you've done a smashing job. But the kitchen before she started it looked horrible, and bear in mind, combine this with the fact that at this point I am really worried about how good my videos are, and to me good meant they sound perfected and they look perfected, and they just didn't, because the kitchen was a disaster. So I never recorded any more kitchen covers again, and I went up to my bedroom and I slowly made my bedroom look how I wanted it to, because it had pink walls when I moved in. I slowly made it look how I wanted it to, and then I started doing a couple of covers in there, but the acoustics weren't great. It was really hot in that room, which, I mean, in some ways was lovely because it always had the sun coming in, but it would roast me trying to make these videos. And then I moved to London with Annie, and then I moved in with Annie and her parents when we moved out of London to start saving for our first house. So I kind of went from having like this set space that was like mine to film in. Obviously it was also my mum's to cook in, but it was mine to film in. I had this space and it was great, and I could really easily kind of make myself film, and then I just lost that. And I didn't feel like I had anywhere that I could film, and I didn't feel comfortable filming anywhere else. It took me a long time to feel comfortable filming in that kitchen, knowing that everyone else could hear me. Despite the fact that I play gigs, I'm much better playing to an anonymous crowd than people who actually know me. That terrifies me a lot more than playing to anonymous people. You stick me in front of a crowd of 10,000 people I don't know, fine. Put me in front of my closest friends and family, and I will refuse to do it. Anyway, here's some good news. If you haven't seen, it's one of my most recent videos. Myself and Annie have bought our first house, which is crazy. And the best news, well, not the best news, but some really good news, it has a lovely looking kitchen. So despite the fact that I'm trying not to worry so much about the aesthetics of things, that small part of me that still is there doesn't care, because it's ticked off. Nice looking kitchen, lovely acoustics. Even better than that, half of the garage of that house is going to become a studio for me, which is going to be awesome, because I love working with Jack and George, the two producers I've worked with over the years to bring my singles and EPs to life. But I've always wanted to be able to record these smaller acoustic songs like the ones I've previously put on YouTube, just to a decent standard, and chuck them out, and be a bit more regular. And I've not had that, I've always had to, again, I want to say a big thanks, they've always done me really friendly mates rates, but I've always had to pay to record my songs and get them out there, which, you don't always have an abundance of money that's just sat there to fund studio time. So now I'll actually be able to take things like a song about life and song, I'm good with names, aren't I? I'll be able to take those and record them and release them. And on top of that, get to live in a lovely house, which I can't wait for. It's going to be really, really good to, to make this space our own, for me and Annie. And, she's got such a good eye for taste, and the house is starting to look really nice. And I want to share that too. I want to share that. I want to do a house tour. I want to show it off. I want to show off the studio when it's done, and the kitchen. And, I really want to do that. So there's going to be videos like that. So where does this leave us? I'm going to try and conclude now. I'm starting to make a move back into music, and this video is being uploaded today, the day I'm filming it, which is a Sunday. I've got videos scheduled for basically every Sunday now for a good month and a half. Hopefully that buys me enough time to record some more too, and they will be in the new kitchen, and also in other places, because I'm not just going to do music. From now on, I'm going to film what I want to film, just because I want to share it, because that is why I started. And I think when I stop YouTube one day for good, when I stop forever, I want to have stopped, knowing that I continued to my best ability in the exact same way that I started. And I didn't sacrifice any kind of integrity or desire, anything like that. And I did it how I wanted to, because that's how I wanted to do it. And I want to make, I want to make entertaining things. I want to do a couple of challenges. I want to run, I'm fairly into fitness. I want to do but not too much. And I want to do like a 5K run every day for a month. I'm currently doing this video where I'm negotiating with all these scammy Facebook advertising pages that offer me $5,000 a week to post links on my page. I've got 20 of them in my inbox. I'm currently, having a few words with them, trying to make that into a funny video. And I want to show off the house too. I want to do house tours and things like that. We have an Instagram account, at our Hopkins home, quick plug, for house stuff. I want to do things that I want to do, and because I want to do them. And that's where I am now. And I feel like it's, I hate to be that guy who's new year, new me, new decade, new me, but it's 2020. It feels like a really nice point to just make that change. So from now on, you're going to see bits of me doing music. You're going to continue to see me and Annie. You're going to continue to see me on holiday, me and Annie on holiday too. But you probably see bits of me, I don't know, snowboarding because I like it, or with my cat because I like my cat, or doing a talk because I do a lot of public speaking through my business. So you'll see that, or me and some of my colleagues, because I'm always getting up to good stuff with them, so sharing that, and the house. I've got so much cool stuff. I look so, I guess I'm not doing anything at the moment, because I'm not posting anything, because it's weird society we live in where you're only really doing stuff if you post about it. But it couldn't be further from the truth. I'm busier than ever, and actually I'm now at a point where so much of what I'm busy with is worth sharing. I just need to get back into the rhythm of it. So my final thoughts are thank you. You know, whether you are subscribed last week or, you know, last decade, well, that was only a couple of weeks ago anyway, last week or 10 years ago, thank you for being part of this, and thank you for sticking around even though I am the least consistent YouTuber on the planet. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to creating content for the right reasons again. And if you guys want to watch that, then fantastic. And if you want to follow me on other social medias, it's all just Harry Seaton, and all the links are below anyway. But I'm really looking to get back into it. Really looking forward to getting back into this and doing what I want to do because I want to do it. So I will see you next Sunday for a cover of some sort. I haven't decided which one yet. It'll be one of them. Cool. Bye YouTube. Thanks for having me back. I'll see you again.